I recently went over to check out a couple of catamarans, Seawind 1160 and 1260. This particular model is the 1260, which is about 41 feet um, from bow to stern. So I wanted to get an idea of what these look like in person. I've seen a lot of videos and seen a lot of brochures, and I really like how they're built, how they're constructed. The sales guy here is really just discussing how the main saloon doors open and pop up out of the way. Some of the extras on this include the winch upgrade, the solar upgrade. He's got an upgraded Genoa or a generator. A lot of the sails are upgraded, as well as some other features that we'll hear discussed throughout the tour of the boat. Um, and after this, we go over and take a look at one of the 1160s, which is again just 3 feet shorter. Anyway, here's his commentation.
Just take that, pop that open.
And then it's just the winch, right?
Yeah. Well, you really, frankly, you don't even need to use the winch.
Right.
But it's nice to have it and be able to use it. Doesn't hurt, you know.
Right.
Pops up in place. You just secure it like that, and that's locked off. So you have 2 points of security on there. One is that bar.
Right.
Two, this remains locked in the clutch. So that's very, very secure. We've never had one fail. I mean, it's, people are like, I don't know how safe that is. We've had these things for 13 years, and not a single one has ever failed.
So he's got his nav station kind of decked out.
Well, yeah. So he's got a lot of redundancies. This is becoming increasingly common to have this panel at the nav station.
Uh-huh.
He's put an SSB out here. He has all kinds of other stuff going on here, USB plugs and all that stuff. He's decided to put in, I think we did this for him, put this arm in so he can have an extra computer screen here. It will swivel and move and all that stuff. So then all this stuff will repeat from here too if you want that too. These are electric.
Right.
So he's got a C-zone system, so you can see what's going on with all your DC power, what's draining it, what's how much you're pushing into it, etc.
Yeah, so, I like the big windows too, because that's
and these windows open nearly vertical, or nearly horizontal, so get great, probably the best ventilation of any cat out there. So you really, even in tropical areas, you really don't need
AC
unless you're. I mean, the only time I can ever fathom needing AC would be if you're stuck in a dock and you're not facing it into the wind. Because when you're on the hook, you're naturally facing into the wind. You just automatically blow into it. So you get great ventilation the whole time. But yeah, if you're stuck in a dock, maybe in a really hot area. Otherwise, yeah, just no reason. This moves around. All this is modular, so if you want to move this over, make this your seating out there or around the table. Of course, tables move around too. So this swivels in 20 different directions to Sunday. Converts down, it drops down and becomes a big day bed as well.
And this is something the customer did, I assume?
Yeah, he got that in, we did it for him. He got this piece in Santa Fe, and he asked us if we could make it into a table. It matched the size, so all we had to do is just put a backing plate on it and then just reinforce it a bit, and that was it.
And so for that to go, you just push on that, and how do you lock it in?
Yeah, it's got a strut here. You can see
okay.
that whole operation there. It's so I don't have it locked down right now, so it's easy to move it around. But if I want it to be very stiff and not move, but otherwise you just push down. And and then you just lock it in place, and then there's an extra cushion down below.
Right.
So all your heavy stuff like your water, So your water tank center line, your batteries are more or less center line right here. He's
Right.
got like a kilowatt of lithium ion on the boat. You have tons of fridge and freezer space down below, but in his boat, he's actually has two of these, but he has only got one of them out right now. He has extra refrigeration out here in the form of these Ingles.
Okay.
So you can move these around. That's what comes standard with the boat, are just these coolers.
Right.
And with the coolers, you can, of course, you can move those out, and they serve as extra seating. So you can have these sitting out here, or you can have them kick your feet up, etc. You can take this table out as well,
Right.
if you want. An option on the boat is the starboard throttles. Throttle controls over here.
Okay.
They're standard on port side.
Right.
So yeah, you can put as much instrumentation over here as you want as well. In this case, he just has a tri-data or multifunction display.
Right.
Most people nowadays, if they want another chart plotter, they just put an iPad there.
Right.
It works just as good.
Right.
Because it does repeat off of, you can connect the two via Bluetooth.
I got you. And so this is one of the sinks, yeah?
Yep. So that's a wet bar in there.
Okay.
And
what is that over
then
there?
on this side, you've got the grill.
Oh, the grill. Okay.
Yeah. So this is on a strut as well, so you can just raise it up and it comes up out of here. And it's not pushing anything, it's still dirty. Yeah, that's the problem with everybody never cleans their grill. So anyway, really nice grill. This Australian made flat top grills. You can get the other type, flame type. But yeah, it pops out and then you just cook away on it.
Okay.
And then of course you have the davits with the solar integrated on that off the target bar here, and you know, you can put up to a 13-14 foot tender if you want to on there.
Okay. And you guys, there's like a thing that kind of rests up against the dinghy on this one, right? So for wind, like when you're under sail.
So this helps secure it. Now,
Right.
if you really want to tie it down, you can
Right.
tie it down tighter.
Right.
Yeah, so this is where you can put an engine on one of these mounts as here as well, or on the other side.
Right.
Too. We do offer a secondary set of davits as well that are for, you know, if you want the boat to not have as much travel off of it. So you've got these long lines here. Now they are 2-to-1, so it's easy to raise and lower.
Right.
So it has big advantages. But if you want davits to just come out like this,
Right.
and then you can bring it up right up against it, and then it wouldn't move. You can do that too.
Okay.
So we offer that.
And the rudders are they modular on this one too?
So they're fixed in here. You can't. They aren't in cassettes or anything. So they're
Okay.
under here,
Okay.
and you can't really access them from top side. Now you can decouple your rudders. So if you ever did, you know, have issues with steerage,
Right.
there's a quadrant. You just disattach one of them,
Right.
the one that you're having problems with, and you just keep running with the other. So
Right.
you just take the wheel on the one that's still functioning, and
Right.
you can still have steerage that way.
Gotcha.
So lots of safety features in this boat for sure. And yeah, there's more access to your steerage. Here's cables,
Okay. That makes sense.
and you can continue to access them from the engine room as well. So if you get down here,
And so this is the port side, which would be considered the guest cabin, yeah?
I think most people consider this more the master.
Oh, sorry, master.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So you got this big. He's letting the air out right now. Plenty of stuff going on in here,
Right.
but yeah. So a thwart ship. The other side, basically the same size overall of bed, maybe a little bit smaller. It runs 4 aft, so it's pick your preference.
a couple of USBs here. So one of the complaints I see online is that there's no shelves and no USB, but
You can throw a shelf in if you wanted, or you
well,
can just run a line.
the thing
from there.
is,
Yeah.
you've got this area right here, so I don't really see it as a big issue.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this for light or?
Yeah, that just turns on light, and I
Okay.
probably have it turned off at the C zone right
Right.
now, so I'd have to turn it on at the C zone.
Okay.
But, yeah, all power's turned off at the C zone.
All right. Yeah. So this, I don't even see it really as a big deal, like
No.
you said. You know?
No, it's, I mean, we could always throw a shelf in if it's important to somebody, but
Right.
yeah, otherwise you can put more. You can put as many USB plugs as you want on these boats. The one I have coming in May, I have actually USB-C plugs being put in. So,
is this standard or is this something added?
it's an option. It's a fairly common option. It's pretty inexpensive. It's only like $40 to have you know, the recessed housings for those. And so I think, you know, I typically put it on boats that are coming in. I think there's 4 that I tend to put standard on the boats.
Right.
So this is really deep back there. It's like double deep. You can see in there, and then you've got all kinds of storage back behind here too.
Is there any additional storage in here, or is that
so
just...
this is under the this is where you have trade-offs in boats,
right?
So you need clearance under the bridge deck for the catamaran to actually clear the water. So these aren't the deepest of cabinets, but that's literally where, you know, again, your bridge deck is up there. So you have tons of storage throughout. You know, you've got really deep access here, and you've got so you've got a lot more electrical going on in here. You've got your charger, inverter. He's got dual voltage, so he can be overseas and get charging as well. He's got a water maker on the boat. He's got everything you can imagine on this boat. Your fuel tanks are down low in the hull. So down here in the village, you can see that's his gray water tank. That's his fuel tanks right there. They're on both sides.
Right.
And they do not cross feed. So if one did become, you know, polluted, you still have a clean one on the other side.
Right. And then this is just...
That's engine room back there, so on the port side, so you're welcome to access that. You may want to move that hose there.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good access. Yeah, good access to the steerage too. So, and then this is a hot water tank, or what is this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep, that's hot water.
And that's black water.
Yep, black water there. So, and you can see there's more steerage access far back there as well. So you have good access. The starboard side is at top. You access the engine over it. So I can show you that. That's basically the berth. The actual bed is on top of it. It's well insulated.
That's just a panel, right?
This does have that's where you would access some instruments, etc. I've seen some people put a mirror there, you know, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you access the backside of the TV, all the wiring for the nav system and all that, electrical or electric head. So, oh yeah, we still have this turned off too. So I got to turn everything on the C zone to actually get that cleared out.
Yeah, one of the things I want to do is put a bidet in, so I need power potentially somewhere here.
Easy enough.
Okay.
Yeah, easy enough.
So I don't have to worry about toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you could just, when you're sailing, you could just go ahead and drop yourself into the water and be cool behind. I mean, that's free bidet. Lots of storage under there. He does have an AC unit on this boat. It's the compressor's under there. He does have a gen set. It's forward. We can take a look at that when we go forward.
Okay.
But yeah, welcome to take a look down there on starboard side.
All right, so galley and guest. Gotcha.
Yeah, and the way I use on my boat, it's basically the same layout, just an 1160 instead of the 1260. If we have guests on the boat, I give them that berth.
Right.
That way they can use that. They can walk out to their own head, and then we can use the ensuite shower and bath in there, and toilet in there. And my son typically stays in this one back here.
Right. So, are these USBs standard here, or is that something that would be added?
There are several standard on the boat.
Okay.
There's like 4 or 5 standard on the boat, and then if you want more, you just tell them how many more you want and where you want them.
I got you.
So all this stuff up here, he's got a lot of stuff going on. These are the cushions for up on the deck.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's gone a good bit. He actually owns 2 of these. So he owns one here and one in Sydney Harbor.
Right.
So trying to keep it clean. So like I was saying, this is back here on this boat. I can't remember if Phil has the washer dryer. Yeah, he has a washer dryer there. If you didn't want a washer dryer, you can option just instead for more storage.
Just gotta get the gimbal to stop fighting me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that would be.
Yeah. It's
So
nice.
I mean, realistically, so that is a washer dryer, just cycles through automatically.
Yeah.
Um,
And then you got hanging lockers forward, and then in this cabin as well. So.
Right. And these are the manual builds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, those are for emergency, you know, unless you just wanted to randomly just do it yourself. You just
Right.
pop it up and then just pump it. But otherwise, you've got automated electric ones that you can also do manually too.
Right. Got the alarm system in here, or?
I don't know who's that. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh, sounds like someone's running the chain.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not standard, right?
You know, it's not standard, but it's pretty much every boat has a TV on it.
Right.
Every once in a while, we'll order one without a TV. We are missing the VHF right now. It's actually, it just needs to be reinstalled. We can send it off for a
Right.
few days. But yeah, there's a option for a 22-inch, which feels really small in here. Or you can do this one. It's a 32-inch, and then it comes with pretty much all of them come with a Fusion stereo and a bunch of speakers that you saw outside and inside. They're sort of hidden around here. I can't even remember where they are. There's one behind that weather display right there.
Right.
It's that little black speaker there. There's also a subwoofer on the higher end setup. But this has, of course, everything you'd imagine, Bluetooth on it and all that stuff.
Right.
So, anyway, you can play it from your phone and all that fun stuff. So, up on deck. They're just finishing out. I think they're still doing some stuff to the sails on the boat. He's got a Genoa on the boat now.
Right.
He's also got, so the typical boats are equipped with just a staysail, you know, a 95% jib that runs on this track here.
Right.
So right now he's got it set up to be a Genoa, so it'd be going on those sail tracks there. So that'll give him more sail area. And then he's got a screecher as well. And it looks like he's messing around with getting or has Ballard Sails messing around with getting him a sail cover on it to protect the material, because screechers typically have lighter weight material, don't have a UV cover on them, etc.
Right.
So if you don't want to pop it off, like, that's your other option, just take it off every time you're done sailing. And that does fold up. That sprit does, that arm there does pop up if you needed to shorten the length of your boat overall for tight moorages.
Right.
So then you've got, oh, he's got a lock. Nope, it's not locked. All right. So you got a gen set back there. This is pretty deep, so he's got all kinds of stuff going on back here. He's got that's a spinnaker there. So it's taking up a lot of space in there. You can't really see it super well, but there's a case here, or a that's what holds the propane. That's the propane locker down there. So there's 2 tanks down there, and he's got some other tools and stuff, as you can see in here. But it's a pretty big locker. So it's a handy space for throwing stuff. Here is your access to, what the heck is that? This is your windlass and your chain. And so he's got the anchor here. Just runs down the center line here, and you can release that. And different people have different anchors. He's got a Sarka XL on the boat. His life raft, a standard placement on them. You can put them other places, but that doesn't, you know, interfere with anything right there. Frankly, it's the safest place to have them on a cat. Let's see here. What else can I tell you about the boat? I mean, there's a lot more storage in here. Obviously, he's got some fenders and stuff like that in both of those lockers, or all 3 of those lockers. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, boats are fairly straightforward. They're, you know, they're really well built, but they're not, you know, overwhelmed with just stuff you don't need.
Right.
In Phil's case, he's put some stuff that frankly a lot of people wouldn't on their boats, so he likes to have a lot of gadgets, like his LED, you know, lights up there, etc. But You know, as standard, you know, we give you a lot of latitude to choose what you want. And
Right.
You don't have to spec a whole lot of stuff. He's actually replacing, it looks like right now, he's just replaced the bridles on his Sprit. So they come standard with these. And it looks like either they're putting those back on or they just replaced them with those. I'm not sure which direction he's going at this point.
This catwalk's nice too.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So access to the up top on the house is super good. If you need to get up there, you just grab any of these points and you just climb up.
Right.
Now everything's led out to the cockpit anyway, so you shouldn't really need to get up here while you're underway.
Right.
But if you did for some reason, now he's got also steps up the mast here.
Oh, nice.
He doesn't have them all the way at the top, but he's got them halfway up there. To
Right.
The spreaders anyway. So you got a stat pack here. So your main will just drop, and it's on a sail track here. So that track, you know, this runs up that strong track. So when you do pop the clutch, the whole main just goes. If you're in the wind, it just goes, shoots straight into the bag. You don't have anything to worry about. You don't
Right.
need to come up here even and, you know, put it away. You can just do that once you get back into your anchorage.
And those are not standard, right?
No, it's standard with like 200 watts total, and so he's got more like 800 watts or so
Right.
on this boat. You can get up to a kilowatt on the boat.
Right.
So these, he's got the sort of medium option. There's a larger option where they're flat panels up here, so you can walk on top of them more easily.
I heard mixed reviews about that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. So
Right.
the con to that is that they don't ventilate as well, so they
Right.
can overheat
Right.
and lose their efficiency.
Right.
Um,
Well, also that when you walk on them, you tend to
scratch them,
break
and
them.
all that stuff. Yep, exactly.
Even though you're supposed to be able to walk on
Yeah,
them.
so I'm sort of undecided on which one I would want personally.
Yeah, I think I'd stick with the solid one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so. Are the electric winches, are those standard, or are those?
No, so
Yeah.
you know, and frankly, he's got two, right?
Right.
He's got one on port and one on starboard here. You could get away with none or one. I think two's probably overkill.
Right.
You know, that one over there is the one that most people, when they do get an electric, get,
Right.
because it's that's where you would raise your main, the main halyard.
Right.
And it is a big main, so it helps a lot to, you know, you can do it yourself by hand, but saves a lot of energy and
Right.
frustration by just popping it on and getting it done. Over there, I mean, it's, yeah, you can control the screecher with it if you have that out, but otherwise, just doing it with a traditional winch handle isn't that hard. You know, your winches, something like that one is a really nice one. It's not standard.
Right.
It's probably a $4,500 winch.
Okay.
It's a 2-speed reversible winch.
Right.
It's called a Hark and Rewind. We tend to sell more what are called Lumar. Anyway, it's a 1-speed is what we tend to sell more of.
Right.
So you do sacrifice, you know, you're sort of finding the 1-speeds in between the slow and the high of this. So a little bit less flexibility, but you still have, it's electric. So
All right. And so the water maker you were showing, or you had listed, that's like 13 gallons per hour, or what is that?
I forget what the gallons per hour are on it. My recommendation with water makers, unless you're going cruising immediately,
Right.
I would not buy one and just wait until, because one, this boat has 190 plus gallons of water it can carry,
Right.
which I've sailed for with family for 10 plus days and not needed to refill water. So
Right.
it's that's a lot of water, as long as people aren't taking all day showers, right?
Right.
But yeah, by the time that you decide if you really do need water or do need a water maker, they're really only useful for passage making. If you're just going cruising along the coast and stuff, you're going to stop in, and you know, then you're going to just refill your tanks anyway. So
Right.
you know, unless you're just dying to spend 6K plus, then I wouldn't do it. I've got one on Amelia on my boat, and you know, I've had it pickled since we bought that boat, other than the one time I used it sailing it
Right.
up the coast just to make sure it worked.
So the one thing, now for the first couple of years, you're right. I'm probably not gonna I'm going to be too busy learning. Right? But the idea is to take it to Hawaii eventually,
Sure.
and then even further. So I don't know if it makes sense just to.
I
have it.
personally,
Yeah.
unless you're just convinced that you're not gonna make ports often enough,
Right.
I just think that they're a heck of a lot of money and a lot of maintenance.
Right.
The thing is that so once you get that, you have to either keep it, you have to maintain it.
Right.
There's a lot of maintenance that goes on there. Hi there.
Right. I know it's an Australian company, but where are they actually manufacturing?
They're made nowadays in Vietnam. This one was made in Australia.
Right.
So, they're the same build quality, better build quality, frankly, in Vietnam than these. But, yeah, here, I'll let you get a look at this. So, everything's not quite as new and shiny.
Right.
But so I have if you got on this boat when we were about to get underway, I would have my seats out,
Right.
all the cushions out, and all that stuff. So
Right.
it would look a little more decent than right now. But,
So obviously we're missing the cleaning station.
yeah, so, that's probably one of the bigger changes is
Right.
that frankly, you lose a little bit of space in the cockpit.
Right.
It's shorter, and so you lose the revised setup here where it's the transom is enclosed and your seating's in that, and you have a table out here, and then you have over here, you would have your barbecue.
Right.
No, I like this setup too. I mean, this is a great setup. It's really fun to be able to sit back here and to cruise. I have the autopilot remote and just sail like this. Pretty
Right.
fun.
Right.
The newer 1160s, actually, they've changed this. Now it's about this wide.
Uh-huh.
The old ones like this one, they have these roll-out UV covers.
Right.
Same door setup, no different. The interior on older ones is more traditional. So
Right.
you have, this sort of, more traditional
Faux teak.
Yeah, faux teak. Exactly. But you do have, real wood. Oh, I got scratched up some. But I mean, it's changed a lot on the newer 1160s. It's more of a neutral gray color to
Right.
the whole thing. You're
Right.
welcome. Come on in. And take
So-
a look around.
Are these still here or not?
Yeah. Nothing's changed as far as layout. Now, what's changed is instead of this opening like this,
It just opens up like this.
it opens
Right.
like
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah, so little things like that. We blew that door out. I think we shot a spear gun through it or something, so that's different wood. My buddy that owns half the boat, he's a diver. He's a Navy diver, so anyway, he had a spear gun on him. But yeah, it's the same layout. It's just 3 feet shorter. So the only difference.
Okay.
So feel free to take a look around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like I said, we're selling it listed $329.
Okay. See, now that's a price I can get behind.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, it's super well maintained boat. I mean, it's U.S. Coast Guard inspected boat. We've got maintenance records out the yin yang for it. We paid for this boat over $400K just 2 years ago. So,
Right.
and then we proceeded to put probably about $60K into it. So, it's ready to go. It's got all kinds of goodies on it. It's got a water maker. It's got, like I said, it's got all the stuff you could ever want. Life raft gets inspected every year.
Right.
Sails on this boat are super nice. They're carbon Technora sails on this boat, so they're
So
super
you
light.
wanna run it for one more year? Does that mean to the end of the season, or what does that
We
mean?
don't have to. I mean,
Right.
we'd be flexible on it. If you wanted the boat now, great. If you wanted it at the end of the season, great. Whatever. It's something we can just discuss.
Okay.
But yeah, my buddy, he's getting his PhD right now that owns half this boat, and he's going to be teaching at the Naval Academy after he's graduated, and he graduates early next spring. So he ultimately wants his money out of this to be able to go buy a house or
Right.
another boat out there to live on.
Right.
So, anyway, me again. He's like, maybe we sell it though. And I'm like, what, dude? Just make up your mind. I don't care.
Well, be indecisive until about July.
Yeah.
and then sell it.
Yeah, there you go.
So I am gonna go take a look at. There's a Leopard, I think 40, something like that, up in Anacortes. You probably know the listing. So
I thought it was under contract, but
the guy says it's still up. So
who's the dealer on that, or is it being sold by an individual?
well, let's find out. Don't believe it was